Is that a gargantuan metallic humanoid coming through your sky portal? Or are you just happy to see me? This week on Hapless Heroes.
If I could be completely honest, I think that we might all be, as the kids say, fucked. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast. I'm Francesco. Tonight, I am your host and DM as we deal with a gigantic metallic humanoid coming through a sky portal. Before we do that,
That's right.
I'm going to go ahead and introduce this.
So you're not just happy to see us. That's what.
The operative word being just. It could be both.
Can we not
We're not
interrupt
counting
me
on
when I'm
both.
just trying to do the thing that we always do?
He's smiling, but I'm not so sure that's happiness.
No, it's...
Wait, the humanoid, the gargantuan metallic humanoid is smiling?
Oh, Fran is smiling.
Oh.
I guess in a sense, yes.
Derailed. Anyway, the podcast is now about cheesecake. Cheesecakes all the time in the morning.
Stop it now. You stop it now. Or else I'm going to do what the audience wants the least, and that's kill Pregnart. And do you want to be responsible for that?
I'm an agent of chaos. I will embrace Pregnart's
I want to talk about the moral responsibility.
We are everybody. We've been doing this show for almost 6 years, and we just you know what this is. So, starting on my virtual left, we have Dave playing Zero, Valen's Avatar of War.
6 years in, and I still can't come up with a good intro.
Mike as Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
Always at my service.
Nicole is Boris the Butcher.
I don't think the robot looks happy.
Zach as Pregnart.
Wow, intros. What a curveball.
Phil as Hedrick the Entertainer.
It's showtime.
And John as Lord Jarrell the Light.
Giant naked robot. Giant naked robot.
Now it's canon.
Last week on the show, I made the mistake of showing this party a picture of the gigantic metallic humanoid figure appearing in this sky portal above their heads. And among other things, besides this mistake that I made, there are two other portals that had just opened up and some things are reaching out of them. We have a shadowy, skeletal, like gigantic right hand coming out of the portal that was in the western part of the sky, and what looks like a large black scythe cutting through the rift in the eastern sky.
So they're just giant glory holes opening up in the sky. Got it. Noted.
3 of them specifically.
3.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
With various things coming through them.
You know what this is, audience. I'm gonna peel back the curtain here, break the fourth wall, do what we have to do. Dear audience who is listening right now, what happened is that today I decided to try to write dialogue for what is about to happen here, and because of the fact that I prepared. This is what's happening.
That's nothing. No, I didn't even know you prepared.
No. It's not about whether you knew that I prepared or not. It's just the fact that it is the mere
karmically.
fact. Yes, it is the mere fact that yes, I did prepare. Oh my. Anyways, that's what's happening above you. You also have a swarm of Modrons descending upon the protective bubble that is now sort of surrounding the general area in which you guys are. Were you reviewing the convergence beforehand? But some of those Modrons have now broken off and are starting to head towards those other two portals in the sky. You can kind of see it all as it's coming down. It's not going to take much longer before Modrons are going to be bouncing off that little bubble. So we're going to open up. You guys are looking up in the sky. out from the portal that the that shadowy hand was coming out of, walks out, and you've all seen him at this point now at least once in our many adventures. It's Vecna.
Dun, dun, dun.
Whoa, it is.
Looks a little bit different than Zero when when you guys were whatever, and like when everyone else who was around, like when we saw him.
Yeah,
what's his
Zero has
Jarrell
never
and-
seen him.
Sorry, Jarrell. It was Quinn. It was whoever was in like the time room, like the time portals, right? You guys saw Vecna.
Well,
Sitting in a
didn't we
chair.
see him take what was the
So
city?
you saw him take Tyrantus,
Tyrantus,
yes.
yeah.
So like you
So
know,
if you were there,
but
you saw him too.
he was under the guise of the mayor at the time, but I'm pretty sure that facade was stripped once he stole the city.
We did have that vision though, where it was kind of like space, and then we
Yeah,
saw
that's
this
the one
floating
Fran was
city, and it was
Yep,
Tyrantus, and the
that
hand was
too.
underneath it, and that
That
was
too.
like a big image of Vecna in that.
So
So
I think even Boris has seen him.
he looks a little bit different than some of the other times you've seen him, but it's unmistakably Vecna, looking absolutely gigantic. Right, the fact that you could see his whole form, his whole figure, his face, everything, when he is miles above your heads. He is just a massive figure stepping out of this portal. And out from where the scythe had ripped steps the future Ebenezer, wielding
Oh,
the very scythe that was previously, or you had seen summoned into Arion Black's possession.
right.
And as he exits the rift, you see like these massive raven wings, just like a sort of shadowy raven wings, are sprouted from his back that then are sort of like flapping behind him, and his like semi-metallic form. And there's some shouting starting to happen up there, and it just booms. Like you can hear this conversation clear as day from the ground. Vecna looks up at the gigantic portal where all the Modrons are pouring out, and he says, "The Primus is here. What a pleasant and fortuitous surprise." And he looks down, like almost like scanning like the crowd, like maybe this is not something that it does not appear he expected this. But before he's able to say anything else, Ebenezer, future Ebenezer, retorts, "And now so am I. It is time for you to return to your prison, Vecna."
Can I just ask, is this robot Ebenezer, or is this actually like I don't remember.
I said semi-metallic form,
Okay, yeah. Okay.
right? Because you guys had encountered him on the ship, like on the ghost ship. Yeah,
He was kind of like a different looking version.
This is that very him, that very
Cool.
same person, now with wings and a scythe. The Primus, who was at least described as the Primus, this gigantic metallic humanoid in the sky portal. You can hear it almost like you could hear it's some sort of it's like a semi-robotic voice speaking. It doesn't sound fully robotic like the Modrons, how they have that very like monotone like sound to them when they talk. This is more like it sounds more purposeful. It sounds more direct. And you hear, "Modrons, exterminate all temporal trespassers and initiate protocol Tempus Interdum." And now, like the Modrons you start to see are now spreading out from their tighter formations and are beginning to scatter towards different parts of the city, as well as make beelines straight for Vecna and Ebenezer, future Ebenezer. I'll just keep calling him, I guess, just future Ebenezer for the sake of the fact that the present day Ebenezer and present day Filbert also exist right here and are standing not too far from you. What do you do? Some shit's about to start going down up here above you, but the more immediate concern is the Modrons now descending upon you.
Do we clarify that first, Ebenezer or Filbert, the thing with the giant wings up there, we thought was you. That's the you.
Hey, you're
or
not
maybe
evil.
could be you. future you, maybe one of you, maybe both of you, not really sure yet. That's what we were trying to stop. Yes.
Sorry, hold on. I have to keep my wand up, guys. My dad was very insistent on me doing this.
Ebenezer, sir, do you have any knowledge of how to defeat one of these? They look like gods.
You can see that present day wizard Ebenezer is looking into the sky with a pained worry on his face. Because
sounds appropriate.
It would appear he knows at least what one of those beings is up there, and the one that I think is of the most concern is Vecna.
Yeah.
Although I would argue that all three are problems. He just looks over at you and he says, "Whatever gods you may pray to, now is the time for that. We will do everything we can to keep the people safe for as long as we can. But if the gods are involved, we may be doomed."
I'm not sure if I need to do a religion check for Vecna. I kind of know what he's doing. But this Primus character, can I do a religion check to see if they are going to be helpful?
Yes, you can make a religion check, and 0/Moradin, I would like for you to make me a history check. You're pulling on Moradin's knowledge here.
Yeah.
I rolled a 7, so I don't know much about Modron religion.
You don't, yeah, not really something you were exposed to much. You knew that all you knew is that Mechanus was a plane of law, of pure law and order.
Okay, and you said a history check.
Yes, sir. Unless you can make an argument for something else.
Oh, well, that's 17.
Okay, perfect. From Moradin's sort of shared memory with yours, you know that Primus is also sometimes referred to as the One and the Prime, and they are the immortal ruler of Mechanus and the Modrons. They are what every other Modron receives their prime directives from. Every other Modron is essentially just a extension of the One and the Prime. They are the being that is essentially almost like the Gestalt consciousness that, makes up what drives every Modron and what sub-Modrons, rogue Modrons break away from. The Primus is a greater deity in Mechanus itself, and he has literally absolute power over Modrons when he is in their vicinity. I think there are, the further away that Modrons are, the easier it is for them for their connection to be severed and for them to go rogue. But that, this is the being that is responsible for the absolute law that exists in Modron society, because really it's just him. It's
just a being of pure law.
Yes. That is what that creature or being is that you're staring at in that massive sky portal. Looking even larger than like Vecna, I may add. And you can see Vecna is now like blasting like swaths of Modrons with magic, and Filbert, sorry, didn't mean to say Filbert. Filbert's behind you. Ebenezer, future Ebenezer, is charging towards Vecna, while Vecna is actually making his way up through the sea of Modrons towards the portal where the Primus is appearing.
Do you know anything about that Primus? He's going after him, it seems. Jarrell asks Zero.
The Primus is essentially the center of all Modron everything. Any Modron you see is essentially a subunit of him. They all, he knows everything that they all know. They have access to as much of or any of him as they need at any given time. and he is pretty much the most pure embodiment of law that exists. No moral judgment, just law.
Is it possible for that army of Modrons to stand a chance against Vecna?
In as much as out of the three of them, the Primus is the only actual sovereign god of a domain. Yeah, he can probably stand and bang, but I don't want to say for how long. Vecna's kind of got, well, one has reach, the other has flexibility.
Boris looks at Zero and says, "What if I stab this Vecna with the shard of the future Vecna?" And starts reaching into her pocket.
Wait, we have a shard of Vecna?
Yeah, right here! And pulls it out of her pocket.
Oh, yes.
Never a good sign.
Thankfully,
kind of shudders when he sees it.
thankfully, the other shards are separated from this one
Through time and space.
through time and space. What she holds up is a shard of the third eye of Vecna.
Well, I'd say it's a coin flip. You either make things fantastically better, or you somehow make things fantastically worse. On the other hand, we're at about infinite bad right now. I'm not sure we're in the wrong place, but we're definitely in a bad one. So, how much worse can it get? Someone still has the fish, right?
Yes, I have it, of course. Hedrick, could you communicate with the giant robot being? Could you reach that far into the sky with your amplifier and ask him for his help in this matter?
I believe the
Possible he's busy.
pot of casting is up to 1,000.
Yeah, we're talking a little bit higher than 1,000 feet.
Right,
in the air.
like stratosphere.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
just making sure.
I can't throw a dagger that far.
She's checking her sheet anyways.
So I can use
Do
my
I have a trebuchet?
I can use the amplifier to get out to 2,000 feet.
How far will message work? If you can see the creature, would that help with any kind of communication method you have? Or Pregnant, maybe you could communicate with him too.
Shoot, does nobody
You
here
have
no one here has the ability to fly? I forgot about that. That's fun.
I have reverse gravity.
That's a little different.
So you can fly just up to 100 feet in the air and then just kind of waver there for a while.
My message only works 120, so even with the amplifier, it would only work 240
That's less, yeah.
feet.
Are you guys still like standing near Ebenezer and Filbert? Have you walked away?
Yeah.
Like, are
No,
you
no,
still...
we're still jaw dropped watching.
Right there, yep.
Yeah,
think-
well, where's a safer place to workshop plans than inside the dome?
Just
Well,
making
and-
just, but I'm just making sure you haven't like you're like this conversation is happening near them, right?
Yeah.
As because they're channeling spells, they're busy, they're doing their thing. But Ebenezer does look to you momentarily and says, "There are a number of wizards here who maybe aren't in the middle of concentrating on very important spells who could possibly aid you with flight, should you need it. If you are mad enough to go directly to where the gods are fighting, we can get you there."
Perfect. Send me to a wizard.
Scootleboot! Where is Miss Scootleboot?
Oh, I'm just over here. Pregnant. Oh, good to see that you're okay.
I'm fine, Mildred. How are you?
I'm quite worried if I could be completely honest. I think that we might all be, as the kids say, fucked.
Oh my word.
But yes, how can I help?
What did you just say? Oh my gosh.
I have to fly up there. Boris points straight at Vecna.
I
With
think
the
we all
shard.
have to fly up there. I wouldn't send you by yourself, Boris.
You wish to go to where that's happening. You are far braver
Before
than
it comes to us.
either brave or foolish, and I can't tell which is which. But at this point, it doesn't matter. Maybe now is the time for epic heroics. Yes, let me gather a few more mages, and she starts like waving some people down. And you are all able to have. You're essentially going to have your own personal wizard that's concentrating on fly to give you flight. And if anything happens to that wizard, that's going to be a problem. But thankfully, they are in a protective dome. So you all now have, for at least the next hour, the power of flight.
Remember to stay close to me.
Levitation, Holmes.
Okay.
I was just wondering, do we think that Filbert's Modron is no longer useful at this point? Is he just another one of the masses because he's close enough to the Primus?
I was thinking that too. That maybe we
mean-
could use that for some goodwill or something. It's a good
Well,
point.
Food for thought, that rogue Modron seemed to have a plan. He needed Filbert to do it, but if he knows something that we don't, if he has access to all the information, like Zero says, maybe there's a little bit more insight than just flying straight into the swarm of death above our heads.
I agree with you. Do you think that Filbert could help get that Modron quickly? Because if we could present the rogue Modron, maybe we could get Primus on our side.
Possible, just from some statements I've heard repeated multiple times, that they need him to keep his wand up.
Right.
Filbert is occupied.
Yeah.
And finding a rogue Modron within this gigantic swarm of Modron sounds like a difficult task if we're going to do find creature or something along those lines.
Especially when none of you have seen this particular one before.
Even locate object.
Yeah. And
Wait.
even if we had, they're indistinguishable.
Was there a detect thoughts or something like someone managed to scry or do something like where they were able to see this Modron, right? Was that Hedrick?
I would be the only person with that possibility. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think you're the only
actually
one that
doing-
knows what it looks like.
Well, if I could scry on it again, the thing is, I've never met this thing, so I was only going off of what Filbert told me.
Correct.
And from what I understood, it's the only Modron that didn't come here through the portal of the Convergence.
Yeah. So that, because I remember that there was some information gained about that, but I also I don't want to repeat too much, but Moradin has some information on, like Zero Din, I guess. It has some information on like how Modrons operate. This would probably, if you think about where the Primus is right now, that little Modron is now within range of the Primus. So
it's back under the Primus's
control.
control.
It could be assumed that at this point now that, because of the fact that the Primus is so close, that any directives it's issuing would be, easily picked up by any of its rogue followers.
That's kind of where Hedrick's mind is at.
Also, since it's established that literally every Modron of the same class are completely identical in every way.
Yeah, there are different tiers of Modrons, right? The different shapes, different types, but yes, they all have a functioning purpose in Modron, quote unquote, society, an ordered society, even though, again, it's all just directives sent from the Primus. It's just, again, a plane of pure order. What would a being of pure order do besides create an entire plane of existence that is all just complete law and order? It's literally perfect in their eyes. But you could see, above you, it's going to get some more stuff. There are now like pieces of Modron raining down and bouncing off of this protective barrier from what is happening above. And Vecna just eliminating swaths of them, and you can see that he's even beginning to clash with future Ebenezer. And future Ebenezer is getting his ass kicked.
It's not a good sign.
Would Boris's head fit inside of a hellhound skull?
Oh, you still have one of those?
I do, and I'm about to put it on as a helmet if you're going to tell me that my head fits inside of it.
How big were the hellhounds, Dave? Because you were DMing at that point.
Oh, The Hellhounds were what in? They were in the castle in
Garthax.
Wonderdeck, right? Yeah,
It was Garthax.
yeah. So it was the Garthax thing. So
Yeah.
oh geez, they were big enough. I would say, very large dog size with a larger than dog sized head. So I would say that would probably work. Yeah.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first, folks. Yes, it does fit on your head, Boris. It would. I mean, it's not going to be comfortable. It's just a skull. It's not like you have it carved or fashioned it in any way to make it any more ergonomic for your head.
No, I put like a piece of fabric in it, maybe, that I pulled out of my pocket to not be aggressively stabby skull on my head. And that's
You know what? Make me a check then with your disguise kit. We'll use dexterity for it.
A dexterity
So
check.
Just dexterity plus proficiency, essentially, because you're proficient with disguise kits.
Yeah, since we're in a place that's going to get
beautiful. 29.
29.
Rolled a 19.
is fantastic. Yeah, you're able to make it comfortable enough that you're not going to suffer any downsides, but it will offer you. I'll give you advantage on intimidation rolls.
Cool. I just wanted it to block falling Motron pieces. After
why
putting
not?
that on, she's tromping towards her wizard to take off to she took what Zero said as consent to go try to stab him, so she's on a mission now.
Okay, well, I mean, Boris, you have the power of flight. I already said, the spells are being cast on y'all right now, and they are concentrating hard.
Hedrick, when we get in range, you should stop all of us together. Again, stay together as best as we can and try to communicate with the Primus. And while he's saying that, Jarrell will use protection from evil and good on Pregnard.
Oh,
Yay.
That's nice. That's so
So
nice.
you're immune to fear, which you already would be next to Jarrell, but also charm and possession.
Well, you're gonna be flying, so there's gonna be probably a lot of disparity in closeness between you all, depending on how things go here. So it's good to have a backup plan, so that no matter where Pregnard is, he is not afraid.
And I also don't want to get hit by Pregnard's with a moonbeam or whatever large ray he shoots
Sunbeam.
out of his face.
Okay,
That's a sunbeam.
Anyone else superhero taking off after them?
Yeah, Pregnard is.
I
It
mean,
would be
Boris is flying it
irresponsible
back
not
down.
to.
I think we're trying to keep up with Boris and hoping that she stops at a certain point.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hedrick's following, and he's starting to play a song as we are ascending up into this madness.
Quinn is following, but he's. Oh,
I'll sing it.
what are you singing?
I've come so far and risked it all, but my fans expect another album, and life is hard when you're a bard. Save the world or nothing else will matter.
No.
Oh,
That's
no.
we've been floating for the past 5 minutes talking, and then we just
Wow.
What does that do? What's that one?
well, inspiring leader takes 10 minutes. Let me see.
It takes 10 minutes?
I think inspiring leader has to be a let's see. Yep, 10 minutes inspiring the companions.
Oh, so you're for the next 10 minutes inspiring your companions.
Yeah, I mean, I could have said that 10 minutes ago and I'd be just fine now. But we were still kind of discussing everything.
You love to see it.
I will add, I guess we'll just make this an inspiration for Jarrell. So you get a D12.
Cool.
Give me 2 seconds here.
In 10 minutes, Hedrick goes prog rock.
I'm really trying to stretch my limitations here. Just try to cover anything and everything.
Okay, so you said Vecna was big, but for proportion for me here, in comparison to Boris, is she the size of his ear, his head?
I'm
his
saying
little toe?
I'm gonna say he's let's see, hold on. I'm gonna try to. Okay, I'm bad at math. So as far as being what something would look like from a distance, right, versus when then you get up close and figure out how tall they are. I'm gonna say that Vecna is probably like 100 feet tall.
Yeah, that was about what I was.
So like I'm like the size of his ear. Okay. So his ear is what Boris is aiming for right now then. She's gonna try to fly through like ear to ear with the shard. That's the direction she's like beelining for.
Okay, it's gonna take you a while to get there. You're cruising, but like again, like you're traveling a good amount of distance, so it's taking you guys a second. Like are you flying in a formation? I'm kind of curious. Like
Yeah,
there's a lot of stuff between you and them, right?
And Hedrick, when we're in 1,000 or what appears to be 1,000 feet of the Primus, we're gonna try to get him to consolidate, I guess.
Okay, well we'll address that when 1,000 feet is even
right.
a possibility here.
We are also temporal invaders. We're here just as illegally as the other two are.
Yeah, and in fact, actually, I'm going to do something I haven't had to do in a long time. I'm actually going to grab my monster manual. One sec, because there's all stat blocks for all different kinds of Modrons in there, and I don't need to reinvent the wheel here. Give me 2 seconds.
So, just for clarification as to what you want me to tell this thing, is that even though we are invaders, we are not trying to upset the law or balance of the universe.
In fact, we're trying to contain it and make it happen.
Correct it.
Modrons are supposed to focus on Vecna
Yes.
to even it out.
Right. We have to stop Vecna first. Ebenezer's an afterthought. I mean, there's other Ebenezer right down a couple thousand feet below us that maybe they can talk or something. I don't know.
Maybe they are the same.
We
Oh my
haven't
god, they're
actually-
so cute.
Yeah, they are cute.
Oh, they're so cute. I've never seen the book picture of a Modron before.
Oh yeah, that's kind of what they look like.
Now, and they're all flying. Obviously, they all have this control, or whether or not they are being controlled by the Primus. Like none of them are just falling down to the ground, or
I mean,
specifically.
Some are, but those are either the ones that have been like injured or destroyed, or there are some that you can see that there's actually formations of what looks like these like the how do I describe them? They look like they have like multiple legs, like several arms, like they have what it looks like 3 legs on either side of them, and then 3 arms kind of going around them in a circle, and they're shaped almost like a like a pointed shield, right? Those do not have wings and have what looks like these two boxy type dudes stacked on the back of them, and they're like kind of traveling down almost like a pillar, like a missile. And they like the little boxy guys. It looks like they're separated in the center, and there's a gear between the 2 layers of like cube that are holding them together. But those do not have wings and are just kind of just firing down to the ground right now. Some have already started to bounce off of some of the protective barriers. You can see all the Modrons spill out of them, like spill out from that formation, and then start like trying to encircle some of these barriers, and are also like certainly you see them moving through all the different streets. So you guys are flying now high above Uhl, and you can see sort of like the topography, and so you can see like that inner ring where like the tower and the ley line and like that initial like that little plaza was, and then stretched out from that, separated by those walls, are the inner wards, right? The 12 wards, and then surrounding that is what looks like it'd be like an aqueduct wall that is feeding in from the east, and then outside of that are all the other little boroughs and extended parts of the city of Uhl before you see the outer walls of the city. It appears that at least the columns of Modrons that are, that can't fly, that are just heading straight down, are not paying you any mind, and I don't think they really could do anything about it if they tried. However, some spherical looking and box looking drones of these, this Modron swarm are heading your way. They don't look particularly like strong, right? They're just like little wiry limbs and like awkward little wings, and sometimes 1 eye, sometimes 2, right? But like they're just like these little boxy things, right? So the boxes are wielding what looks to be these like golden bows, and the little spheres appear to just have like little swords that they're like like holding in hand. And there's a group of about like 20 that are starting to head your direction and are pretty close to you. You're still thousands of feet away from the action above you, but some action is now heading in your direction. They're about 100 feet away right now. We should roll initiative, I think. This would be a good time for that before any other wackiness happens. And that's one of my favorite things to do in D&D.
Zero, if we communicate with them, are we communicating with the Primus?
Functionally, yes. Whether he'll listen if we communicate with them instead of him, unknown. But he should hear what they hear, so why not, right?
Well, I think it's important to keep in mind what Vecna stands for. It's all chaos. I think we can get them on our side if we work together.
You can already see, the Modrons are fighting Vecna.
Yeah.
It's already happening. Like, they're definitely doing that. It's just that you are also a target to them for it. So let's get that initiative here. Zero, what do you got?
Let's see. It's actually a 20 on the die, because, this is a great place to use it. Plus 4, so 24 initiative.
Quinn?
16.
Boris?
Also a 16.
I think Boris has the higher dexterity bonus of the two of you, I believe.
I have +5.
Yes.
Okay. Ragnar?
12.
Hedrick?
17.
And Jarrell?
50.
Okay, it's respectable, Jarrell. Wow, I've been rolling like shit the last couple of nights. My rolls are amazing, and you should be all terrified. Okay, we're starting with Zero. You have a group of 20 Modrons. Some like the spherical one, some spherical, some boxy. I'm going to say there's about, or Q, I should say cube, right? So I'm going to say there's about 7 cubes and 13 spheres.
Now, the spheres have swords, so I'm less concerned with them in the immediate time. What's our range on the cubes?
Like I said, 100 feet. They're in a formation pretty clumped together.
Okay, well, they're within range anyway, so we're going to take our 30 feet of move towards
fly.
Them. Of
Your 30 feet of fly. Yep, 30 feet straight up. Yep.
Yeah, whatever. We're closing. So 90 feet now, and let's see. It has been some time since I have been in combat. Let me just make sure I got all this squared away. That's
action.
So, all right, 3 attacks with reason, which is plus 13. So let's see. We're going to be a 23 against armor class, another 23, and let's see, 13, 5, and an 18.
Were you firing at 3 different ones?
Yes, I'm going to say I'm firing at 3 different boxes. Boxes 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
We're just doing
for the boxes, yeah.
Yes, and we just standard non-sharpshooter fire.
You hit all 3 that you were targeting. These things are not the most advanced enemies you've ever fought in your life. There's just a lot of them. You go ahead and roll me damage on all 3 of those.
Okay, each of them is going to get D10 plus 6. So let's see, that's going to be an 8, a 14, and 15.
Okay, no outright kills. They all look quite injured. But they are still descending upon you. So.
And that was boxes 1,
2, and 3.
3 there.
This is the most enemies I've ever tracked in a combat too, so I'm trying to just take a few shortcuts here. All right. Anything else on your turn, Zero?
No, I think we're going to leave it here. We're going to conserve for the long haul.
Okay. You hear as a retort to your shots, cease your fire, temporal trespassers, and return to where you came from, and the judgment of the Primus, the One and the Prime, will not befall you too harshly. And we're going to go on to Hedrick.
So they're not shooting anything at us, they're just flying straight towards us.
I'm sure they will be once they get to their turn.
They told us to return to our plane.
Return to where you came from, and
Return to where
the
you came
judgment of the one in the prime will hopefully not be so harsh.
Alright, no, I feel like at this point we...
No can do. Those two
we
fucknuts
can-
up there
we
ruined
can't
it.
do that. Alright, so he's going to aim for one that hasn't been hit. We'll call it number 4. And
Alright.
he's going to take one of the arcane grenades off of his bandolier and catapult.
Catapult it up. One of the catapult it up like one of the omni bombs.
Yeah, he was
Okay,
using
okay,
them
okay.
off of the ship. And
Right.
yeah.
No, yeah,
he,
no, I remember you do. I know, I remember you doing this. What are you setting it to?
So all he has is 5 seconds. These things aren't sticky bombs. Even if they make contact and it hits damage,
Yep.
it will then fall.
I figured.
After
Okay, that's quite all right. Go ahead.
So he's
you-
going to start with
cast
5
your spell?
seconds. Yeah.
All right, and you cast the spell. I think it just goes. Is there any? I forget. Like, it just catapults it in that direction, right? You don't have to roll anything to make that happen, do you? Or do you have to roll to hit? Because you said you're aiming for number 4 specifically.
Double checking.
We haven't used catapult in a hot minute.
So, yeah, it's instantaneous. Choose one
Okay.
object weighing 1 to 5 pounds within range that isn't being worn or carried. The object flies in a straight line up to 90 feet in a direction you choose before falling to the ground. So I guess if he's 100 feet away, I have to aim this thing. If you want to make me do a ranged spell attack, I will.
You know, in this case, let's do it. Mainly to see how dead center you can get this, because it's almost going to explode, and like these things are going to be kind of coming into the explosion, right? Because it's
Yep.
going to be exploding just in front of them,
Yep.
which is ideal, honestly. So yeah, go for it. Just give me ranged spell attack.
All right, 17 plus 5, 23.
Yeah, dead center. So it explodes. And I remember saying this almost acted like a fireball, so I would like for you to roll me 8d6, and I'm going to spread that around to these 20 Modron.
35. the total.
35. Perfect. Okay, thank you.
And I think as a bonus action, he's going to inspire Pregdart. When I look up to the skies, the ley lines acting strange. And time is running out, but our quest remains the same. Nothing lasts forever, but the friendship we've obtained. And it's hard to know the future in our Ulian campaign.
Wow.
Nice.
My cat was dancing to that.
Nice. The catapult and the resulting explosion from the omnibomb destroys, let's see, 7 of the spheres wielding swords. There are 6 remaining.
So spheres 1 through 7 have been eliminated, you said?
Correct.
And I am counting. The bandolier had 10 originally. I believe I used 5. I had 5 left on my character sheets, and now that's
You got
down
4
to 4.
left.
Yeah. Just
All right,
being
sounds
honest.
good. Hey, if you all end up eating the fish, you'll have 5 remaining once more.
Mhm.
Okay, so that's pretty solid. Hedrick, sounds like your whole action economy we just got there as well. So you good to go?
And he's trying to stay in formation with Jarrell. If Jarrell
Makes-
moves, like that's where his movement would be.
All right, yeah, that's. I mean, that's fair. I mean, you're probably just gonna move 30 feet up because that's where Jarrell's gonna do it. You're just a little faster than he is. We're gonna go to Boris now.
Boris continues to fly at Vecna. um,
You have some Modrons between you and Vecna.
yeah,
And
so she's still pinpointing that direction. That's her main focus, is still just getting to Vecna, but she does switch the shard into her offhand and ready her dagger so that any Modron that goes to like fire at her or whatever, like she's just like kind of watching them while she's flying that direction and readying an action to attack anyone that aims at her.
Okay, so like for the action, you're essentially going to fire the dagger at any of them that peel off towards you. Like whichever one peels off and tries to attack you, essentially.
Yeah,
Anyone...
if a sword one peels towards me, or if a bow one actually like aims at me, because I mean Boris is perceptive. I'm gonna see.
Okay,
if
I'll take it as red.
red.
So we'll get to something on your turn if any of them decide to attack you. That sounds good. So you're using you fly up essentially 30 feet directly at or towards Vecna.
Yep.
And for the moment, ignore the Modrons. Okay, Quinn.
Yeah. So I'm going to fly toward one of the Modrons. Or Quinn's going to fly toward one of the Modrons.
You're now 70 feet from the group of Modrons.
I'm going to. I don't think that's going to do anything. I'm going to cast Shatter. No, doesn't have a good range. I'm going to cast Heat Metal. Nope, that still doesn't have a good range. Damn it.
And you saw how easily these things are blowing up. Let's not, you don't have to go overkill here.
I just don't have anything that has range.
That has a 70
okay,
70
I'm just gonna
foot or more
shoot.
range.
I'm gonna shoot an arrow at one of the.
Yeah,
Modrons
take a shot.
instead of
Are you
wasting
firing it at? Are you firing it at one of the cubes or one of the spheres?
Let's go with one of the spheres.
All right, shoot your shot, my guy.
Alright. That is a 16.
Yep, your arrow sails off and squares this thing directly in its single eye.
3. 6.
Yep, it's destroyed.
Cool.
We'll call that. That's another sphere down.
With my bonus action, I'm going to give inspiration to Jarrell. Now, he can't use them both on the same thing.
Okay.
You can't stack them, but I can still give it to you.
Cool.
So Quinn says, Jarrell, if the monster eats you whole, take solace in knowing it will likely die excreting your sword.
That's inspiring? Well, we'll see. Let's see what you do with that inspiration.
Because even
Jarrell.
when he poops you out, you can still harm him. It'd be great.
So
Jarrell, it's your turn.
What's your bardic inspiration?
D10.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Jarrell's, I guess, trying to kind of keep up with Boris. Now he's seeing that people are going off in different directions. As he will try to keep up with her, he'll try to yell back to the Modrons, "Our quarrel is not with you! Help us defeat this agent of chaos together!" I guess I'm gonna try to do a charisma check against persuasion against the robots. See if I can
I love
persuade
it.
the
I love
robots.
it. That's a very Jarrell move.
Yep. Really? D12 and I got a 1? It's still an 18.
An 18 is not. It doesn't seem to be enough as they continue their relentless advance towards you.
Now, just to clarify, Quinn moved a little in front, like forward in our like
Straight up.
And
I
then
think-
Boris is going straight up.
She's going straight up, but just a little bit diagonally to that, right? Like she's heading. It's very clear that she's trying to head towards Vecna and not the pile of Modrons that are descending on you.
Right, but only Quinn seemed to have moved like up and forward a little bit.
Zero did too.
Oh, okay.
Did Hedrick move? Sorry, I forgot to ask.
My movement was just to follow Jarrell.
Okay, so you wouldn't
So-
have moved yet. because he's, you're acting before him, right? So you either move preemptively or you don't move at all.
Continue
Well-
on the path, or you have to adjust it after I do
Yeah,
something.
and we have a general direction. I'm not trying to separate myself.
So you
Yeah.
moved
Figured-
straight up towards
I let them,
towards the
I
action.
let them go first, so if nothing else, I'm right where Jabrel was.
Okay.
I guess like if one group is kind of going up toward the Modron, and Boris is kind of going up in like this direction, I'm gonna try to keep myself
Between them.
so that at least when they come to catch up with us, because Boris is gonna get way ahead of us no matter what we do. But at least we can.
Well,
try
everyone
to,
has the same fly speed.
Yeah, but when they stop to fight and she goes woof,
Yeah,
then it's
that's
not
fair.
quite.
It's fair. Okay. You did your action with the making the check and doing the thing.
Yep.
You
I'm
did
gonna
your
just
move.
move up in the middle, in between both groups.
Sounds good. All right. And that brings us to Pregnart.
Move with Jarrell.
Mm-hmm.
And how far does that?
30 feet
How far?
up.
No. How
oh.
far away from everything are we now?
You are 70 feet
Just to
from the pile of Modrons, and you are much further away from everything else. You are a out of initiative movement sequence away from everything else.
I'm going to cast a radius of confusion.
On the Modrons?
Yeah, where is like center of mass for the Modrons?
I mean, they're in probably like a 20-foot wide sphere. And obviously they've been what was maybe a perfect formation before is now broken apart with all of the missing Modrons that were destroyed.
Okay, I have a 90-foot range on confusion. I'm going to
What is
cast-
what is the radius of it?
Shit, hang on. What does SL stand for again?
Spell level?
Spell level. Oh right. Oh wow. Wait, it's 10 plus 5 spell level. It's 4th level spell. So that is going to be a 30-foot radius.
A 30-foot radius because you're casting. Well, it's only spell levels above that. If it's a 4th level spell, it starts at 10.
Oh,
Any spell,
okay.
if you cast it above 4th level,
I
higher
understand.
levels, yeah, it does it.
Sorry. All right. Well,
So it's a 10-foot
yeah,
radius.
I'll
You can
cast
cut-
it. I'll keep it at 4th level. I'll cast a 10-foot radius sphere of confusion.
That will affect 4 of the spheres and 5 of the cubes, including the ones that are injured. Do they have to save?
Wisdom.
Okay, what's your spell save DC? I don't have that in front of me. Should be on your spell sheet.
18.
18. All right, so rolling for the 3 spheres first, we have a fail, and a fail. The 3 of them both fail, or all fail, and then we're gonna do the
Go to heck, Modrons.
5 cubes. Fail.
Damn, I'm good.
Pass, fail. So
What?
one of the 5 cubes that you affected with this are unaffected, but every single other one is confused of the ones
That's
that
pretty
you
lucky.
managed to get. Yeah, that's pretty lucky. It was some absolute shit die rolls. I put those back in the bag, and I'm now pulling out 3 new d20s.
And just for the audience, this spell assaults and twists creatures' minds, spawning delusions and provoking uncontrolled action.
Actually,
Each
wait, sorry.
creature- Oh,
It does affect them, as in you can see it try to affect them, and then the spell fizzles. As these have a special feature that makes them completely unable to be compelled to act in a manner contrary to its nature or its instructions.
son of a bitch.
The spell
what did
fails.
you say?
I was curious about that.
Wait, what were the exact words that you just said?
They cannot be compelled to act in a manner contrary to their nature or instructions. their directive.
Yeah, because they're
Shit.
machines.
It's such a cool feature name. It's Axiomatic Mind.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so your mind affecting spells, your Jedi mind tricks are not going to work on me.
Then I will try a more manual approach, and I will also use a sorcery point to cast a quicken spell.
Can only be a cantrip.
And I will cast message. Thank
Yes.
you.
2.
To whoever is the Modron and like the most center. Hopefully, can I go for a more Modron that I know failed that save?
Sure. You could. I mean, are you picking a sphere or are you picking a cube?
I'm picking a sphere
Sure. Okay.
because those all failed, right?
Give me a message.
I'm a little frog boy, and I want to help you with a pie and gabba gab goo geeba gow.
You hear a very short response back to you in your mind. Submit now, and your judgment will be swift and mild.
This is like a
Con-
child trying to do
con-
a crank call, basically.
Continue to assault, and your judgment will be slow, painful, and fierce.
That did not work at all the way I wanted it to.
Not all things do in life, my friend. Speaking of things not going the way you want them to, the Modrons are now going to open fire.
Uh-oh.
The spheres begin to charge. You can see that they actually use their full dash to get real close. So they move 60 feet towards you. Now they are 10 feet away from the group that flew straight up. None of them peel off towards Boris. However, the cubes stay further behind. They only move up about another 30 feet. One of them turns and aims at Boris. Boris, your reaction triggers.
Cool. So I am going to fling my dagger at that one. Are they within 5 feet of any of my allies right now?
Not those, no.
Damn. Oh wait, I have to roll to hit first, right? Yep.
You do. Getting a little ahead of yourself. You're already rolling damage.
Oh, that's not very good. 18.
18 gets through their natural
Okay.
metallic armor.
Excellent. And should I just use the damage roll that I pre-rolled there?
If you already rolled the damage, yeah, for sure.
I rolled
give
the
it to
damage before I rolled the hit. Yeah, so the damage is 9.
you. Okay, you deal 9 to, we'll say that was the last one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 7. You deal 9 damage to. And the dagger reappears in your hand.
Yep.
It now fires at you. And the rest of them, let's see. Let's pick some targets for the rest. So, Hedrick,
Nobody
that
shoots
shot,
a pregnant, right?
the 2 that fired at you completely missed. No, I did not roll any net or any pregnant.
Good.
All right.
Let's see. Against Jarrell and Zero, that's an absolute whiff. Those little arrows just clank off your armor. However, Quinn does a 23 beat your AC.
Yeah.
9 piercing damage
Okay. Not terrible.
as one of these arrows sticks into your left shoulder.
Well, that hurt.
Ow!
Ow!
It didn't penetrate the skin all the way, right? Like it's not like stuck inside of like your flesh too far. It hurts a lot, but you're able to pull it out because it's mostly, it's wedged in your armor. But that hurt.
Hope that doesn't leave a scar.
That's all the attacks resolved for them.
Oh,
that's it.
What about the one that fired at me?
Oh yeah, I didn't actually get that one. Sorry. Thanks for asking.
No problem.
Does
Take my damage.
an 18 hit your AC?
Fuck. Yes, just. I can still use a reaction, right?
You used your reaction to perform
To
the
attack
action
it.
that you saved.
To perform the held action? Okay, so I can't
Yes.
use the reaction. Cool.
Yes, a held action uses up your reaction for the turn.
Cool.
You also will take 9 piercing damage. That's their turn. Looking skyward once more. Future Ebenezer takes a shot from some sort of spell and is blasted downwards. You can see that he's like already trying to slow his downward momentum, and like as these black smoky raven wings are flapping to counteract whatever like downward force was just applied to him. But as he's moving downward, he sees the group of you. And he says, "No, not you. Anyone but you. No wonder this isn't going the way that I thought it would." And you can see that he now actually stops trying to like adjust his speed to go back towards Vecna, and now turns himself and is now flying downward towards you.
Uh-oh.
And that's what we're going to call this episode of the Hapless Heroes podcast.
God damn it.
You can't predict it by now.
Right.
Oh, God, I love it.
One evil god. Two
evil
evil god.
Listen, out there, all of you, dear audience in Radio Land, if you like us, you could find us on the internet. We're on such places as Twitter and Instagram. Just look for @HaplessHeroes. We're also on Facebook and Reddit. Just look for Hapless Heroes Podcast. Really, though, a lot of those places really just are there to have sticky. I mean, we put some stuff on Twitter. We put some stuff on. That's actually about the only other social media thing we are very active on. But all of them will be able to give you information on how to join our Discord server, which is really the absolute mecca, the crown jewel of our internet presence, where you can meet, interact with us, talk about the show, talk about other things going on in your life. We're sharing all kinds of crazy stuff in there, and it's really just a great, awesome community that we've built with all of you wonderful listeners out there. There's no price to join. There's no nothing. Like, you just click that link, come on in there, say hello, introduce yourself, and join this burgeoning community we have. It's pretty great. If you really, really like us, though, we'd appreciate it if you left us a 5-star review or rating on the podcast service of your choice. You know the drill by now. It helps us get more visibility, honestly. It just plugs us into those little algorithms with all those series of tubes that the internet is flowing through, and getting that in front of more people that'd be like, oh, Hapless Heroes, that seems like a show I want to check out. It's your help that really gets it there. If you have a podcast service that doesn't allow you to leave reviews, we also have a nice little place in that just aforementioned Discord server where you could leave us a 5-star review. And if you say some nice things about us to your audience, we're going to say some nice things right back to you on the air. Like our Discord listener, No Time to Reload, says 5 stars all the way. It's been over a year from whence I found this podcast, and my goodness, I haven't laughed as hard in the years prior to finding this podcast. Every episode has a laugh out loud moment, and I am so very thankful to have found this. Big thank you for all involved. Bigger thanks to Dave and Fran for inspiration that I can give to my players in the form of controlled chaos. Hapless Heroes needs to have a disclaimer to not listen while driving due to the immense amount of laughter possible in every episode. /S, like it's sarcasm.
That probably
I
is
mean, also,
yeah.
that is true, because I feel like our friend Jake has told us on multiple occasions that he's almost veered off the road from laughing so hard. Which, Jake, we've hoped you've stopped listening to this podcast while driving at this point. It's a hazard to your health. You're better off to us all alive. Thank you. We care about you. But anyways, if you really, really, really like us, you can donate to our Patreon. It's patreon.com/HaplessHeroes. We have a whole bunch of rewards on there. It also gets you access to a very special, exclusive channel in our Discord server where you can put your pinkies in the air and tell everybody just how much you are better than them or whatever. We also have been sharing some just random things in that channel. Like recently, a few of us had attended a wedding together where we shared a mutual friend, and there are some tasteful photos in that channel, including the first, I guess, tasteful nude ever, technically, of John and his very sexy vehicle. It's a very nude vehicle.
Nude.
It's a very nude vehicle.
That's not true. That doesn't make sense, Fran.
That does.
It
not
makes
make
sense in my mind, but he's looking real good in there. So we encourage you to go in there and check it out. And see if it's worth your hard-earned dollars, because your donations help keep this show running. Like, I hate asking people for money, but like some of you felt that we're worth your hard-earned dollars, and by golly gosh darn it, it feels pretty good to just see that appreciation from
Just
all of
channel
you.
your inner Bernie Sanders, Fran. and just
Yeah,
once again
we are
do
once
it.
again asking for your Patreon donations, so please come take a look, see if it's something for you. And thank you again to all of our current and future donors.
And if you like us right now, you like us, Sally Field and the whole deal, do a little web search for the Arcade Machine International Shootout and procure one, pay for it, and then contact me and I'll tell you where to send it. Because I've just been thinking about that machine lately. It's very fun. It's like a paddle soccer game. It's like kind of a cross between air hockey and what's the other one called? Foosball. And oh man, I used to play it when I was a teen all the time at Game Zone, and I've had a hankering for it. So yeah, just buy that for us, and then contact us, and I'll send you an address where you can send that for us.
He means him.
I mean, something about that should be about the hapless heroes, I think. I mean, what, you gonna tell the delivery person to listen to the show or something? Or-
Yeah, sure, yeah, yep, that's the one.
Okay, well, I guess that works, I suppose. So great, awesome. I guess there's nothing left for me to do besides outro this cast for you. Starting on my virtual right, we had John playing Lord Draw the Light.
Until next time.
Phil is Hedrick the Entertainer.
This Ebenezer's a real eager beaver.
Zach is Pregnart.
Did someone cast confusion on me? Because what the heck?
Nicole is Boris the Butcher.
Ugh, I'm supposed to be stabbing, not getting stabbed.
Mike is Lord and Captain Quinn Southwind.
My cape billows so eloquently.
And Dave as Zero, Valen's Avatar of War.
Good night, everyone.
And I'm Francesco, I've been your host and DM. Tune in next time where we continue this crazy combat and see what happens next. Bye now.
Bye.
Bye.